Hi guys, it's Granny Tana speaking. Welcome to this FS22 tutorial series, Easy Start in Elmcreek. This is part 5. In the last part we sold our first straw and I told you the most important stuff that you need to know about selling the stuff, how to find the prices and the selling stations. And in this part I want to cultivate this now empty field that is ready to be cultivated, to be prepared for the next seeding. Okay, and therefore we need this tractor. This is already prepared for cultivating. So we enter, and then the first thing we can connect is the Rabe. This is the cultivator here, and then the weight. And we need this weight because this Rabe is heavier than it looks, and it's going rather far behind the tractor, and therefore the weight is strongly pulling on the tractor, and therefore we need a weight to balance it. And maybe you ask yourself why I didn't cultivate this field beforehand. Because this looks the same like the wheat field now. So, and in the tutorial, in the in-game tutorial, you should cultivate this. But I want to use this field for putting greenhouses and a bunker silo for silage, and later another shed for putting our stuff. And this is a perfect flat ground for putting buildings. And the other fields are not flat. Even if they look rather flat, they are not flat, but this is nearly perfectly flat and is a perfect place for having more buildings on the farm. And we will definitely do this. Okay, so now we go with this. Like so. And the cultivator doesn't need to be activated. Some cultivators, the bigger ones, the really big ones, they need to be unfolded. But normal cultivators doesn't need to, or don't need to be activated. So you can't find this B form activating. You only need to lower it. Oh, and now what happened? Nothing happened. Yeah, that's because I lowered the weight. And that's the same with the mower I told you last time. But here, when I open the menu now, you see there is an entry in the help menu, select next tool. This time we are informed by this help menu. But first I have to lift it up again, the weight. It should be up, because if not it would scratch on the ground. But now we switch to the next tool. Now, and we can see where this little tractor is. Now the back tool is the activated one because of the bright light, white. And now we can lower it with the V key in my case. Okay, and now it's good to go. I close this help menu again. And I just go. And that is cultivating. And always when you harvested a field, it needs to be at least cultivated. And yeah, we deactivated plowing in the menu. If you have plowing activated, you sometimes need to plow and then you don't need to cultivate, but if you play more in the realistic style, you plow and then you cultivate on top. And here I lifted it to turn around. So, bring myself in position now, lower it again. Yeah, and now I press H for the helper. Here I show you in the menu again. This is H for hire AI worker. And if you play on consoles or with a controller, then you find the key you need to use in this help menu. And yeah, here we have the helper working. And we can have a look what this helper is doing. And so it's really important to prepare the ground for the next sowing. And as I said, usually this is done by cultivating. And yeah, sometimes you can plow and then you don't need to cultivate, but you should if you play realistically. There are different kinds of appliances that can work for cultivating. So in reality they would be different machines, but in FS22 they are all used for cultivating. While the helper is doing this, we can go into the shop and have a look at those machines. So I'm here in this trailer area, and here are the cultivators. Those are the normal cultivators. We have this small one, and yeah, then they grow, and this already has 5 meters working with, and they grow more and more. Here we have the bigger ones that are unfolded, and they get bigger and bigger. And from here on, they are shallow cultivators. They don't work as deep as this one, so the texture after working with this looks different, but the result is the same. You can sow afterwards. And yeah, here they get bigger and bigger, and the bigger they are, the stronger the machine has to be, the tractor has to be to use it. So for this cultivator, which has a working width of 15.7 meters, which is nearly 50 feet, you need 500 horsepower. So quite expensive tractor. This is more for the advanced gameplay. And instead of a cultivator, you could use a disc harrow, and it works more shallow than the normal cultivator. And the texture that you get is similar to the shallow cultivators. But the result is the same. You can sow afterwards. And usually the disc harrows need a little bit less horsepower. But if you have 5 meters, you still need 180 horsepower, and if you have a big one like that, with only 12 meters, you need 550 horsepower, so even more than for the shallow, huge cultivator. And then there is a power harrow. Oh, the disc harrow, maybe I should have shown this to you. First, we have a look at the principle of such a cultivator. So it digs into the ground, and usually it has some rolls, and then here it is smoothing the ground and making it more smaller pieces like. And the bigger ones work similar, but in detail a little bit different. They have several areas that work one after the other. And then we go to the disc harrows, and they work with discs, as the name is saying here. They have discs that turn, so they don't dig into the ground. And here they have something like a roll with spikes to make the soil crumpier. Yeah, and then we have the power harrows, and they are rather similar to the disc harrow, but they need power to work. You have to activate them if you're using them, and they turn in circles like that. So those parts are turning. Doop, 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 doop. And yeah, here you can see it better. Those thingies are turning in circles, and like that they are working on the ground. Yeah, and they usually need more power according to the width because they need power. And yeah, the result in the game is the same then with the usual cultivator. In reality, there are differences according to your soil or the type of grain that you want to grow or crop of each kind. You need different cultivators or harrows or things like that. But the farming sim is already rather complex as it is, and therefore this cultivating topic is simplified for us. Okay, I think let's make this a short episode. I will let the helper do her job and finish it, and then I will start sawing. Oh no, we can do this together. The sawing of the grass. I put the tractor here, and then we can just start here, and we want to saw grass as well. And we don't keep this as a grass field, the other one also not. Only for the winter time we have a harvest in November and another harvest in spring, and then we saw maybe sorghum, because I think sorghum would be a good idea. It is new to the game and you can make quite some money with it. Okay, so this is already prepared, and maybe you remember from the second part of this tutorial series, we only have to activate it. This should be activated and then lowered, and then it can start. And I also let a helper do the job. Yeah, and in the next episode of this tutorial series, we will harvest grass from around the field. This is not much grass, but it's already there waiting for us, and we can already make some money with it. And we will transform this grass into silage, and this is quite an adventure and quite lucrative. Okay, so that's it for this episode. I wish you a wonderful day. Thank you for watching and all the best. Till next time. Tschüss.